welcome back to our classes. So in last classes we were studying about root words, and now today we are going to study something new, and that is a passage. Passage is also very important, children, because you have to understand the passage, and then after understanding the passage you have to answer all the questions. So there's a trick. First of all, read the questions, after that read the passage, and then from that passage take out the question and answers. Chalo. Now next over here we come. This is a passage given to you. Okay, today is the passage, and this passage is about ruralism. What is ruralism? And about that, this passage is over here, and few question and answers are also there. So I'll read this passage for you. I'll make you understand the passage, and then I'll read the questions for you. Then you have to solve it. You have to give the answers of it. Okay. Chalo, so motivations for ruralism in underdeveloped countries are understandably different from those in developed country. What is ruralism? Rural people. There are two types of people, urban people and rural people. Urban क्या होते हैं? जो शहर के होते हैं. Those from the city, those are urban people. Urbanism. Okay, what is ruralism? Those people of गांव देहात के जो होते हैं, देहाती you can say. तो दैट इज रूरलिज्म. रूरल पीपल. तो रूरलिज्म, रूरल पीपल में क्या प्रॉब्लम्स है, व्हाट आर द प्रॉब्लम्स दे आर फेसिंग, विल डिस्कस ओवर हियर. ओके, सो मोटिवेशन, मोटिवेट करना, प्रोत्साहन करना. ओके, मोटिवेशन फॉर रूरलिज्म इन अंडर डेवलप्ड कंट्रीज, इन दोज कंट्रीज विच आर नॉट डेवलप्ड, जो डेवलप नहीं हुई है, अंडर डेवलप्ड कंट्रीज हैं, वहां पर मोटिवेट करना, टू मोटिवेट रूरलिज्म, रूरल लोगों को मोटिवेट करना ओवर देयर इन अंडर डेवलप्ड कंट्रीज आर अंडरस्टैंडेबली डिफरेंट. दैट इज डिफरेंट फ्रॉम व्हाट? फ्रॉम दोज इन डेवलप्ड कंट्रीज. फ्रॉम दैट इन डेवलप्ड कंट्रीज, मतलब डेवलप्ड कंट्रीज में जो हमारा रूरलिज्म है, दैट इज डिफरेंट फ्रॉम द अंडर डेवलप्ड कंट्रीज. ओके. Okay, now there it is a sheer physical necessity for the very act of man's survival. In villages, for the survival, they have to work. They have physical necessity. They have to work for their survival. अपने जीने के लिए उनको मेहनत करनी पड़ती है. They have to struggle. They have to work for their survival. उनको अपनी जिंदगी गुजारने के लिए मेहनत करनी पड़ती है गांव के लोगों को. In the third world countries which are predominantly rural. Now, in the third world, what is those countries which are predominantly rural? जो rural countries हैं, those countries which are predominantly rural, the only lever that can lift human life above its present subhuman level is rural development. Now, the only lever over here, what is the meaning of lever? Over here, from lever we come to know कि एक ऐसी machine, a machine that can lift ruralism, जो हमारे रूरल पीपल को उठा सकते हैं, लिफ्ट कर सकते हैं. ओके, तो इन द थर्ड वर्ल्ड कंट्रीज, सॉरी ओवर हियर इट इज रिटन, हाँ, विच आर प्रिडोमिनेटली रूरल, दोज कंट्रीज विच आर रूरल, जो गांव देहात के लोग हैं, जो देहाती लोग हैं, उनको लिफ्ट करने के लिए द ओनली लीवर over here, the only lever that can lift human life, उनकी लाइफ को, ह्यूमन लाइफ को उठाने के लिए, लिफ्ट करने के लिए एक ही रूरल है, सॉरी एक ही लीवर है. above its present subhuman level is rural development. what should be there? क्या लीवर है? लीवर is rural development. there should be rural development. रूरल हमारा डेवलपमेंट होना चाहिए. then only the people can get a good life, the people can live satisfactory life. Okay, chalo, next is rural life in such countries has been stagnating for countries on end. Over here, what is the meaning of stagnating? Stop developing. Stagnating मतलब होता है कि जहां पर डेवलपमेंट रुक जाए, where development stops, there is no development. तो रूरल लाइफ ऐसी कंट्रीज में जहां पर डेवलपमेंट नहीं है, जहां पर डेवलपमेंट रुक गया है, इन दोज कंट्रीज, सच कंट्रीज हैज बीन स्टैग्नेटिंग फॉर कंट्रीज ऑन एंड, एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दिस द कंट्री इज कमिंग ऑन एंड. ओके, इट्स गोइंग टू वैनिश. कंट्री खत्म होने वाली है. Nothing worthwhile has been done to ameliorate the conditions of the rural population. कुछ भी अच्छा नहीं हुआ है. worthwhile, कुछ ऐसा नहीं हुआ है जो वाकई अच्छा हो. ओके, टू चेंज द कंडीशन को चेंज करने के लिए, द कंडीशन ऑफ द रूरल पॉपुलेशन, जो गांव देहात की पॉपुलेशन है उसको चेंज करने के लिए, नथिंग वेरी वर्थवाइल, नथिंग वेरी गुड इज डन, which is only slightly different from that of their quadrupt counterparts. Okay, now ignorance, ill health, क्या क्या है हमारे रूरलिज्म में, रूरल पीपल्स में, दे आर इग्नोरेंट, दे डोंट हैव लाइटनमेंट. ओके, उनके अंदर इग्नोरेंस है. ओके, इल हेल्थ है, देयर हेल्थ इज ऑल्सो नॉट वेरी गुड, एंड पॉवर्टी, पॉवर्टी मीन्स गरीबी. So these words, ignorance, ill health and poverty, these three words are the synonyms of what? Synonyms of ruralism. Over here it is written. So ignorance, ill health and poverty have become synonyms of rural life in the underdeveloped and underdeveloped countries. In underdeveloped people, in those people who are not developed, and in those countries, underdeveloped countries, in those countries which are not developed, these three words, the first one is ill health, the second one is ignorance, and the third one is poverty. So these three words have become a very great problem. Means these three words are the synonyms. Okay, what is synonyms? एक वर्ड का मेनी वर्ड्स, तो दिस इज सिनोनिम्स. तो हमारा एक वर्ड है कि रूरल डेवलपमेंट नहीं हुआ, उसको बहुत सारे वर्ड्स आएंगे. क्या? इग्नोरेंस है, बिकॉज पॉवर्टी है, गरीबी है, इल हेल्थ है, अच्छी हेल्थ नहीं है. सो दीज आर दी वर्ड्स. ओके, चलो. But the worst tragedy is that the concerned human population have taken this state of affairs for granted. Now, the most bad thing, the worst tragedy, the bad tragedy is that who has taken for granted? Over here it is written, the concerned human population, the human population जो concerned होनी चाहिए, जिसको परवाह होनी चाहिए, concern होना चाहिए, they all have taken this rural problem, underdeveloped ruralism, for granted. They are not giving any importance, they are not thinking about it to change this problem. Okay, as something unalterable, something for which there is no remedy. So this is what, just because of human beings are not taking any responsibility, they are not concerned, so there is no remedy, कोई इलाज नहीं है. Okay, every ray of hope, हर आशा की किरण, ray of hope means आशा की किरण, every ray of hope has gone out of their lives. सारी आशा की किरण उनकी लाइफ से जा चुकी है. देयर इज नो रे ऑफ होप इन द लाइफ ऑफ रूरल पीपल. रूरल लोगों की लाइफ में कोई भी आशा की किरण नहीं बची है. देयर इज नो रे ऑफ होप. ओके, okay, in such countries, rural development is the inevitable condition of any material or non-material advancement. As such, enlightened section of all such countries have been taking ever growing interest in the question of rural development. Now, this was also part of the legacy of their freedom struggle. Now when there was a struggle for freedom, जब आज़ादी की लड़ाई हो रही थी, तो this was also a very important part, ruralism, to abolish ruralism, to abolish underdevelopment of ruralism. Okay, to abolish this, it was also a very important part at the time of struggle of freedom. In countries like India, in those countries such as India, we can take India an example. जैसे इंडिया में it is well known that attempts at rural development were an inseparable part of the independence movement. It is very well known that there were many attempts taken. बहुत सारे attempts किए गए, बहुत सारी बार कोशिशें की गई to give development to underdeveloped rural countries, but it was not of any use. Independence leaders like Gandhi ji, now a very important leader, Mahatma Gandhi, over here, he has done a very good job for abolishment of ruralism. So over here, leaders like Gandhiji realized quite well that real India lived in his stagnating villages, not her, it is his. Okay, over here. Now गांधी जी ने ये realize किया था that real India lived in his stagnating villages. Means real India, where is real India? Real India is up over there where his villages are just abolishing. There is no development of villages. So how will be real India coming? So this was the thought of Mahatma Gandhi. Cities which were mostly the products of Western colonialism. Now what is colonialism? Okay, cities, वो cities जो products थे, किस चीज के products थे? Western colonialism. Many many countries are there. Okay, they they want to get rich. What is colonialism? They want to get rich by getting in in developed countries के साथ मिलकर they want to get rich. So over here Western colonialism की वजह से there were mostly the products, ये products were just artificial showpiece. These all were just artificially, they were not important. Artificial था, दिखावा था. Okay, it was just a showpiece, एक showpiece था, that was not important, not real. Even there were two worlds. The posh area, एक posh area था where the affluent few, mostly the products and custodians of imperial interest lived. एक posh area था जहाँ पर high level के लोग रहते थे. Okay, where little islands engulfed by the vast ocean of dirt. जहाँ छोटे छोटे islands, छोटे छोटे, over here we can say कि छोटी छोटी जगह खत्म हो गई, engulfed हो गई because of the dirt, गंदगी की वजह से. Okay, by the vast ocean of dirt represented by the vast majority of people. बहुत सारे लोगों की वजह से, बहुत सारी गंदगी की वजह से it abolished, engulfed, खत्म हो गई. Okay, cities were no means unknown to India, but in ancient India they were integral part, organically related to the rest of the country and society. But modern cities are exotic centers of commercial and industrial exploitation. ठीक है, cities in ancient India were the flowers of cultural. Now ancient India में, हमारे ancient India में cities कैसे हुआ करते थे? They were just like you can say cultural and artistic excellence इतनी थी, cultural values इतने थे, artistic चीजें इतनी थी कि it was just like a flower, एक फूल की तरह था. Okay, cities at that time in ancient India. But modern cities क्या है? Are just parasites preying on and deliberating the country. It is just taking away everything. Parasites, कीड़े की तरीके खाया जा रहा है. Okay, तो जो cities है, modern cities हैं, they are just parasites. ये निगल ले रही हैं, खा ले रही हैं कीड़े की तरीके. They are not like flowers who has cultural values, who has this artistic excellence. These things are just vanished. Hence, Gandhi ji started the Go to Village movement. Gandhi ji ने क्या start किया था? Go to Village movement, which alone, according to him, could bring freedom to India. ये एक ऐसा movement था which Gandhi ji started, Go to Village movement. Okay. Now this he thought that this only movement is sufficient. ये movement sufficient है, Go to Village movement. This is alone sufficient. ये काफी है according to गांधी जी. गांधी जी के हिसाब से this is sufficient. ये काफी है. Could bring freedom to India and sustain it. इंडिया में फ्रीडम लाने के लिए उस वक्त गांधी जी ने कहा कि दिस इज सफिशिएंट, ये काफी है. गो टू विलेज मूवमेंट एंड इट कैन ब्रिंग फ्रीडम टू आवर कंट्री. Rural development had the pride of place in his strategy for the nation's freedom. Thus, it had its origin in the freedom struggle. इसलिए इसका origin जो हुआ था, कहाँ से हुआ था? From where its origin started? From the freedom struggle only. Freedom struggle जब हमारी चल रही थी, at that time only the origin starting हो गई थी इसकी. चलो, now over here this was the paragraph I told you. Okay, over here this one and this one, this was the from till here. This was the paragraph. Now, there are 4 or 5 questions that you have to solve. Okay, now you have understood the paragraph. Just go through the paragraph once more, read the paragraph once more, then try to solve the answers. Okay, in the same way, we will study more and more paragraphs. We will revise more and more paragraphs so that you can able to understand how to solve these paragraphs. Chalo. So, people are taking growing interest in rural development because लोग ग्रोइंग इंटरेस्ट ले रहे हैं रूरल डेवलपमेंट में. व्हाई? बिकॉज देर आर 4 ऑप्शंस ओवर हियर गिवन टू यू. द फर्स्ट ऑप्शन इज नथिंग वर्थवाइल कैन बी डन इन द नियर फ्यूचर. फ्यूचर में कुछ भी वर्थवाइल नहीं हो सकता. नथिंग वर्थवाइल कैन बी डन इन द नियर फ्यूचर. दे हैव नाउ बिकम ऑप्टिमिस्टिक अबाउट इट. अब वो उसके लिए ऑप्टिमिस्टिक हो चुके हैं. दे हैव रियलाइज द इंडिस्पेंसिबिलिटी ऑफ इट. उसकी क्या इंडिस्पेंसिबिलिटी है उसको उन्होंने रियलाइज कर लिया है. दे हैव बीन सफरिंग फ्रॉम सीवियर हेल्थ प्रॉब्लम्स. और वो बहुत हेल्थ प्रॉब्लम से सफर कर रहे हैं. So these are the 4 options given to you. This is the first question. Now we come to the second question. Which of the following is the lever according to the passage? I told you in the passage what is lever. Okay, remember. So these are the 4. You have to tell which is the lever according to the passage. Passage के हिसाब से lever क्या है? Upliftment of the rural masses, enlightenment of certain sections of the society, non-material advancement, stagnation of rural life. Third question is which of the following is the worst tragedy according to the author? Author के हिसाब से worst tragedy क्या है? What is the worst tragedy according to the author? The first one is lack of realization of the importance of rural development, exploitation of the rural people by the city dwellers, the subhuman conditions of the people, the pessimism of the rural people about their one condition. Next is the fourth question is which of the following statements is not true in the context of the passage? हमने जो passage पढ़ा, the passage which we have studied just now, तो which one is not true? First one is most of the rich people dwelling in modern cities are genuinely concerned about rural development. Is it true or false? Rural development is a prerequisite of any other advancement and progress. The rural folk in the third world countries feel that their subhuman condition cannot be improved. Fourth one is only rural development can raise the standard of living of people in the third world countries. And the fifth one is rural development was considered as a part of India's freedom movement because क्यों consider किया जाता था कि rural development एक part था freedom movement का? Because Gandhi ji was against the Western colonialism. Gandhi ji उसके against थे. Real India was then under the British rule. Real India British rule के under में थी. Imperial interest lived only in villages. The country comprised of mainly villages. So these are the 5 questions and this was the passage. Now you revise the passage once more. Okay, go to the video again. If you have any problem, just revise the passage and then try to solve these 5 questions. Chalo, now next we come to, okay. Now, next we come to our few words I'm giving you and then you have to make sentences of those few words. Okay. Okay. So these are the words over here. Now, in English, there are many words already I told you. So these are few words. I'm going to tell you the meaning of these words, important words, and then you try to make sentences of these important words. So these are 14-letter words that end in age. Okay, there are 14-letter words. and these words are ending in age. These are few words, these are 14 letters and they are ending in age. Now, the first one is stock brokerage. This is the word stock brokerage. Okay, this is the first word. Now, the meaning is service which gives retail and institutional investors the opportunity to buy and sell goods. What is stock brokerage? It is the service which gives रिटेल जो रिटेलर्स होते हैं और जो इंस्टीट्यूशनल हमारे इन्वेस्टर्स होते हैं उनको अपॉर्चुनिटी देता है. अपॉर्चुनिटी मतलब मौका देता है टू बाय एंड सेल गुड्स, खरीदने का और बेचने का गुड्स. ठीक, चलिए नेक्स्ट इज अंडर कैरिएज. नाउ द पार्ट ऑफ एन एयरक्राफ्ट, देयर इज अ पार्ट इन द एयरक्राफ्ट. एयरक्राफ्ट में एक पार्ट होता है हमारा including the wheels that support it for landing and taking off. This is the undercarriage is a part in the aircraft. ये aircraft में एक part होता है जैसे wheels को include करके, wheels के साथ होता है. हाँ, तो that supports it for landing and supports this aircraft for this undercarriage supports the aircraft for landing and taking off. Okay, landing के लिए और taking off के लिए, fly करने के लिए. So we will make sentences of this first word undercarriage. The second word, sorry, the first word stock brokerage, the second word undercarriage. So you will make sentences of these two words. These are the 14 letter words ending with age, AGE. Now bacteriophage, this is the third word ending with age, and this is the 13 letter word. Now, what is bacteriophage? A virus which parasites a bacterium by infecting it and by infecting it. Okay. Now, what is this? It is a virus. ये एक virus है. Which parasites a bacterium. एक bacteria को parasites कहा जाता है by infecting. इसको क्या करता है? Infect करता है. So this is bacteriophage. You will make sentence of this word also. Proto-language. What is proto-language now? A hypothetical post-parent language from which actual languages are derived. Now, it is a proto-language क्या है? Post-parental language, post-main language है जिससे other languages are derived. और भी languages हमारे निकलते हैं. Now, over-encourage. Over-encourage, encourage का मतलब encourage करना, to encourage, किसी को encourage करना किसी चीज के लिए, that is over-encourage. Okay, intermarriage. Intermarriage क्या होता है? अंतरजातीय विवाह जो हमारा होता है, that is intermarriage. Intermarriage, okay, अंतरजातीय विवाह. Now, these were the 14 letter words. These were the 13 letter words. Now, over here are the 12 letter words that end in age. These are the two words. First of all, we have studied about 14 letter words. Then we studied about 12 letter words. Now we are studying about, we studied about 13 letter words, and now we are studying about 12 letter words. First one is disadvantage, nuksan. Okay. Advantage means fayda, disadvantage means nuksan, loss. Photo montage, a montage constructed for photographic images. Montage एक बनाया जाता है. Montage is a short film, you can say, and which is made by mixing many things. Okay, that is montage. So एक short montage बनाया जाता है, construct किया जाता है for photographic images के लिए. Next is meta language, a form of language for description of another language. एक language है, उसको और भी languages में describe करने के लिए जो use होता है, that is meta language. Okay, so this is meta language. Okay, so today we will study very small over here. I've given you, this is 14 letter word, stock brokerage, 13 letter word, and 12 letter word. So you will make sentences of these words. Try to make sentences on your own. I have told you the meaning of these words. You will try to make sentences on your own. Okay. So today we have studied this. Okay. And one thing more, very important, that try to make simple sentences, not very complex, but the sentence must be correct. Okay. So today we have studied this. Okay, in our next class we'll continue. Okay, children. So students, take care and study well, study hard so that you can one day raise. Okay, thank you.